I've been vocal in previous videos about my opinions on how this year's two biggest superhero movies looked. Long story short, I really didn't feel anything towards both Superman and Fantastic Four's trailers. They both didn't look bad, but I wasn't excited about either of them. I haven't seen Fantastic Four yet, so stay tuned for what I think about that, but I have seen Superman. On so many levels, I should not like this movie. There are so many weird decisions made, like some questionable storytelling choices or hit and miss visuals. By all means, this video's thumbnail should be at least a yellow, maybe even borderline red. So why do I kinda love this movie? Well, allow me to explain as we dive into this new take on Superman. Let's start by talking about the previous Superman. I really like Henry Cavill as Superman. I think he's a great actor and fits perfectly in that role. I hate Zack Snyder's version of Superman. Turning the most optimistic and hope-filled hero from DC and turning him dark and brooding didn't feel like Superman. It felt like Batman. I don't hate Snyder. In fact, I actually think his style of filmmaking can be incredibly interesting, but that style just doesn't work for a character like Superman. It's so nice to see a brighter take on this character, and James Gunn seems to have merged a little of the original Christopher Reeve Superman with his own style to create a version of the character that feels familiar while also being something brand new. David Cornsweet gives a great performance, in fact all of the actors do. Rachel Brosnahan, Nicholas Colt, Nathan Fillion, etc. The entire cast is really giving their all in this movie, and it shows. If you really dissect this movie, you can definitely find the issues it has, and I definitely have some issues. Issue 1. The CGI looks awful. While the makeup and costume design is actually really spot on, the same can't be said for the CGI. I think my biggest issue with the movie comes from Crypto. I get making Crypto a CGI model for when stuff just physically can't be done by a real dog, but Crypto is CGI for the entire movie. This is a big deal because the audience has to be convinced that Crypto is actually there so that any emotional or character-driven moments he may have with Superman work. And in order for it to work, the CGI either needed to be really good for the entire film, or they should have just used a real dog whenever they could to save the heavy lifting of CGI for only when absolutely necessary. And it's not just the dog. There are multiple moments of poor CGI in this film that really just take you out of the movie. Issue number 2. The comedy. This is definitely the most subjective one. James Gunn is famous for being able to blend hilarious comedy with gripping emotional moments, but recently I feel he's been lacking when it comes to his comedy. I still got a few chuckles from Superman, but for the most part I was more interested in the characters and story and felt like the comedy only distracted from the real strong suit of the film. Issue 3. Where's Clark Kent? There are rare moments in this movie where Superman is Clark Kent, but I feel like it should have been expanded more. Come to think of it, I also think that about the Batman and Bruce Wayne. In the original Superman, showing us the life of Clark Kent was there to show us the grounded humanity of Superman, and allowed for further expansion of the character in a much more normal setting. There's a spoiler coming up if you care. There's a big chunk of this movie where Superman is trapped in a prison created in a pocket dimension by Lex Luthor, and this section of the movie serves a very similar purpose. While I think it works here too, I also think there's a bit of an audience disconnect with having this side of the character be exposed in such an otherworldly location. I know there's an argument that some may make that secret identities like Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne are unimportant and the audience just wants to see superheroes do superhero stuff, but personally I think these sides to the heroes make up half of why audiences relate and connect with the characters. So these are some pretty major issues I have with the movie. Poor visual effects, distracting comedic elements, and lacking a major aspect of the character should bring this film down for me, right? Well, surprisingly, no. When I go into something with the intent to review it, I have a certain process I use. While watching a movie, I take mental notes of how it made me feel at certain parts throughout, and then when the movie is over, I dissect why I felt those emotions. So while I did notice some issues while watching that by all means should have left me with a negative experience, I left the theater with a sense of joy that I wasn't at all expecting to feel. There's a certain charm this movie has that allows me to look past a lot of the issues I have with it, which is an impressive feat for any piece of media. In summary, Superman is far from perfect, but its chaotic and fun energy, stellar performances, and entertaining story managed to win me over in the end in a way that only a few movies are able to do. It might be a mess at times, but it's a mess I'd happily watch again. That's all I got for now. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends, and hit that bell icon to be notified for whenever I make a new video. The next review should be... Oh, I actually don't know what the next review is going to be. I've fully caught up on the scripts I need to make. Because of that, videos might become less frequent, but I'll still make sure to keep a steady schedule. I might do a video talking about San Diego Comic-Con, or maybe some small topic videos, so if you're interested in that, or interested in supporting the channel more, then turn notifications and check out my other videos. Okay. That's it. Bye.